to the channel. This is stop number 2 on my powwow trail project this summer, where I'm hitting up one powwow at each reservation in Montana. I think I may have mentioned in a previous video that I had a goal of filming at each res in Montana, and little did I know, just a few months after recording that video, that I would have a single project that would allow me to do just that. And the cool thing about the tribes in Montana is they're all different. You have so many different tribal groups represented throughout the state, and so you get to experience, by doing this project, I get to experience all of these different cultures, because a lot of people think Native Americans or native tribes, they're all the same, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. They're all very different. They have their own different languages and customs and things that they do, and it's just very unique to see. And it's cool that in Montana, like, every res has different tribal groups represented. So like I mentioned, this is stop number 2, and we're over here in Arlee, Montana, which is on the Flathead Indian Reservation on the western side of the state, home to the Salish and the Kootenai people. As you can see, it was super dreary and rainy during the trip, especially on the first day. And since most powwows or celebrations are held in the summertime, they're held outdoors, and so that means the weather can sometimes make it a little tricky. Thankfully, the powwow was taking place under an arbor, which was enclosed and had a roof, so we didn't really have to struggle out in the rain. And so my job at these powwows is to sort of capture the atmosphere of the event, which means filming the dancers, the singers, the spectators, the announcers, the vendors, all the things that make up a powwow. And then I've also been encouraged to gather an interview or two at each stop. And the client has kind of left that portion kind of open-ended. So we've been trying to talk to the locals at each powwow, whether that's one of the tribal leaders or people putting on the powwow. And so what you see here is I'm doing an interview, Jordan's helping me, with one of the local tribal leaders here. So we just go around, and we were lucky here in Arlee because Jordan and Logan are from Arlee. So they know people here, so they were able to pick out, we should interview this person or that person. As you'll see in the upcoming vlogs and powwows, like, I don't really know. I didn't know anybody, they didn't know anybody, so we were kind of left to figure it out as the weekend went on. Like, we had to go find, like, maybe this might be a good person to talk to, or someone would be talking at the announcer stand, and and then we'd be like, hey, that might be a good person, so we'd go and ask them. And so it's been different. Each powwow has been different in how we've approached it, but I think we've got a few good interviews, at least 1 to 2 good interviews at each stop so far. And this powwow took place during the 4th of July weekend, and since it was a holiday weekend and near Missoula, my wife and my daughter came with me, which was nice because I didn't have to shoot anything until the evening, so I had a lot of time on my hands during the day. And so I'm glad they came with me, because I would have been pretty bored by myself. And like I said, since I didn't have to film till the evening, that gave us a little time to do a few things around Missoula. So on Saturday, we hit up the local farmers market, which those are always cool to go to, check out all the different vendors and stuff. And then we ran into a display of an actual, I don't know if it's an actual, but a replica maybe of the Batmobile. I don't know, maybe this was used in the films. It looks legit. I even had to stop and take a picture of it, man. It was so cool. And there's a guy sitting in there. I thought that's not a wax figure, that's an actual person sitting in there. But just to see that up close, it was pretty cool. And then we went down, just kind of explored Missoula, went down to the river there, let my daughter kind of take that in. And I met up with a friend that was also at the RLE powwow. We met up with them for lunch in Missoula. And yeah, we were just kind of waiting around until it was time to head back to the powwow and start filming. The second night of the powwow, it wasn't nearly like, it rained during the day that day, but in the evening, like right around the time when the powwow started, it cleared up. There were still clouds, but it didn't rain. And this is me, I just set my tripod up on the back of my pickup and I was getting a time lapse of the clouds kind of moving over the mountains there, and it turned out really cool. I'll show it here. And then this is just me waiting, just waiting around for the powwow to start. I'm testing out the Insta360 Go camera 3S that I got. I was still getting used to it at this point. And there were a couple times where I thought I was filming and apparently it wasn't. And so that's why I don't have too much, I don't have really great footage of the powwow here. Shout out to my wife for taking some BTS video and photos of me. This is me and Logan here. I'm doing video. Jordan and Logan are doing photo stuff for the powwow, and we're just there filming grand entry. The thing about powwows too is they tend to go pretty late into the night, and I didn't get back to my hotel room till, as you see here, almost 1 a.m. Well, that's it for this vlog. Check back in a few days for my next one, where I will be filming at a rodeo. All right, I'll see you then.